The Royals made it 6 straight wins over the Tribe last night and got a little defensive help from Northeast Ohio native David Lowe in order to do it. Waldo Jimenez will try to slow down KC and get a much-needed win next on Sports Time Ohio. From Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri, it's Cleveland Indians baseball. Tonight, Game 2 of a 3-game weekend series between the Tribe and the Kansas City Royals. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. And as we count down the final games of the regular season, we're looking back at some of the individual performances this year for the Tribe. And Rick, 2 years ago, Shin-Soo Choo was finishing up his second consecutive year in which he hit 300, hit 20 or more homers, drove in 85 or more runs. Then last year's injury-marred season. This year, the power and the production haven't quite come back, but maybe, just maybe, they found a new leadoff hitter.
Well, they did. You're right. He started the year hitting third in the lineup, but all of a sudden, Manny Acta puts him in that leadoff spot. We were in Minnesota in May, and I'll tell you, he took off. As a leadoff hitter this year, he's hitting over 300. He's done a terrific job. 5 times he's led off the game with a home run, and this guy has been hit 13 times. Choo's a guy that likes the ball away, and teams are starting to know that, and they're pitching him inside. He's been hit 13 times, but overall, he leads the team in runs scored. He's 6th in the league in doubles. He's done a really nice job in that leadoff spot. You're right, they did find someone. Now they have to find somebody to drive him in and pick up where Choo left off a couple of years ago.
And hopefully this is just one of those years with regards to his inability to hit left-handed pitching. But he's well below 200 against the Southpaws. Hopefully that'll improve next year.
Yeah, $175 against the Southpaws, $323 against right-handers. That's something that he is going to have to improve upon.
Let's take a look at tonight's Nissan Road-Ahead pitching matchup. Ubaldo Jimenez will take the ball for the Indians against Kansas City.
Well, the league leader in losses. He has 16, and he's had a tough go on the road this year. 11 of those 16 have come on the road. He's 1-1 against Kansas City, and at Kauffman Stadium, that win took place earlier this year. You can see 1-1 on the year. He will be matched up against left-hander Will Smith, who got his first major league win against the Indians back in May. They had him on the ropes early in the first inning. He got out of it, went on to pitch 5 more innings, and got the win in that ball game.
Get to a Nissan dealer for special offers on innovation that excites. For Kansas City, their talented catcher Salvador Perez, he's still out of the lineup, but the Royals will get Alex Gordon back in there tonight in left field. We're back with all the play-by-play action between the Indians and the Royals next on Sports Time Ohio. the Lockhorns for the second consecutive night. KC has really had the better of it against the Indians of late, winning 6 consecutive meetings. And right now, warming up for the Royals is left-hander Will Smith. Let's take a look at Manny Acta's starting 9, brought to you by Progressive Insurance, proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. It will be Shin-Soo Choo leading it off, followed by Asdrubal Cabrera and Carlos Santana, Michael Brantley, Russ Kanzler, and Matt Laporta, then Lonnie Chisenhall, Thomas Neal, and Cord Phelps.
Well, let's take a look at Will Smith's numbers, brought to you by MLB.com at Bat12 for the new iPad. Smith is 5-8 on the year, a 5.08 earned run average. In his 79 2/3 innings, he does have 52 strikeouts. He was acquired from the Los Angeles Angels over to the Royals. He got his first major league win against the Indians back in May. That start May 29th in Cleveland, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, and a couple of them earned. Let's check out their defense. The Home Depot defense. Gordon in left, Dyson in center, Francoeur is in right. Moustakas at third, Escobar at short, Falou at second, Hosmer at first with Pena behind the plate. More savings, more doing. That's the power of Home Depot.
Here are the umpires tonight. Lance Barksdale will call the balls and strikes with the crew chief, Gary Cederstrom, down at third base. We're underway as Will Smith delivers outside for ball 1. 66 degrees, our game time temperature, a light breeze blowing from left field to right field. 1-1 to count for Choo. Just a beautiful fall afternoon here in Kansas City. And a little bit low, 3-1.
Now, we talked about Choo and left-handers this year, a 175 clip. He's got a count in his favor right now where he can sit on a good fastball and get after it.
Bouncer to first. Hosmer will throw, and on the move, Smith takes the feed, tags the bag, and we've got one away. Asdrubal Cabrera will bat in the 2-hole tonight. Jason Kipnis getting the night off, so Cabrera, who's batted third primarily, will move up to the 2 spot. Santana hitting in the 3-hole, and then Michael Brantley batting cleanup tonight. And our stat of the game brought to you by your Northern Ohio GMC dealers. Cabrera with a 16-game hitting streak against Kansas City. And there's a drive to deep center. Back is Dyson, though, and he'll make the running catch as the wind continued to push that ball away from him, but with his speed able to run it down. Here's our great clip of the game from last night. Carlos Santana got a hanging breaking ball and drove it right up the middle, driving in a pair of runs, and at that point, it cut the Royals' lead to just a single run. Great clips. It's going to be great.
Yeah, that pitch was an 0-2 pitch that Santana was able to handle very easily because he hung it. Made it a 1-run game, but Kansas City added on after that point.
Well, Rick, you talked about it. You know, it wasn't a real well-executed pitch. But you do have to wonder, this Royals bullpen has been used more than any other bullpen. And Collins, the guy who gave up that pitch, that was his 69th appearance on the year.
Yeah.
You know, he was used a lot last year by Kansas City as well.
Well, we had mentioned it, and I'm sure we haven't done it for a couple of weeks, but when you look at the Royals, the Indians, and also the Twins, their starters average about 5 innings per game.
Indians go 1-2-3. The Royals are coming to bat when we come back. Ubaldo Jimenez on the hill tonight for the Indians as he looks to snap out of it, get his 10th win of the year. Here's the Royals lineup for Ned Yost that he'll face, brought to you by Kia. Gerard Dyson, Alcides Escobar, and Alex Gordon, who's back in there tonight hitting third. Billy Butler, Mike Moustakas, and Jeff Francoeur. Then Hosmer, Pena, and Falou. Outside ball one. Dyson 1 for 3 in the ball game last night. Left-handed hitting center fielder.
A guy that can really run, and a guy you want to keep off the bases.
The 1-0. Center field is certainly an interesting spot for the Royals looking forward to next year. They really like their position players pretty much man for man around the diamond. But center field, still a bit of a question mark because Lorenzo Cain, who came with Escobar from Milwaukee as part of that trade package for Zach Greinke, he hasn't been able to get on the field. It's been one injury after another, so they're not sure if he's the guy, if he can stay healthy enough to man that spot. And, Dyson's done a nice job also. The question is, between the two of them, Rick, can they stay on the field for 162 games and get them through a year? If not, then maybe that's a position they need to take a look at as well. We know they need starting pitching.
Let's take a look at the numbers for Ubaldo. 9-16 this year, a high ERA, 5.43. He's had a tough go on the road, 11 of those 16 losses, and since the All-Star break, he has really struggled. 1-9 and an ERA of 6.78. And they waste no time.
First movement, he just took off and swiped that bag. 28th steal of the year for Dyson.
Yeah, that's 31 now out of 36 off Ubaldo this year. He does not do a good job with the running game, and you can see the speed, not even close. They better hold him close at second base or he'll take off from there as well.
Alcides Escobar, 1 for 3 last night. Gansler creeping in at first. And Escobar pokes it down the line, a fair ball. That'll bring home Dyson. And the Royals have the early lead as Escobar pulls into second base with an RBI double. His 29th double of the year, his 50th. Run batted in.
Yeah, that swing there is a thing of beauty for Escobar. He's just trying to move the runner along to third base, and he gets a bonus. That ball stays fair. He gets the double down the line, and it's a great pitch to do it on. You see he lets it track deep into the strike zone and just slaps it that way. His 29th double, his 50th RBI, and Kansas City will play from in front tonight. They draw first blood, 1-0.
Up high, ball one to Alex Gordon, who missed last night's game, although he did play late as a defensive replacement in left field.
Had a hand problem from the day before trying to score a run at home plate.
League leaders brought to you by your Cleveland Akron area Lexus dealers. And we talked about it before. Billy Butler is usually at the top of this list, but this year it's Alex Gordon, his teammate, with 49 doubles so far this year.
And this is a great park for him for doubles because of the spacious outfield.
Opt out of play. It's funny. You're right, Rick. It's a great extra base hit park. Not necessarily a great home run park.
Right.
But this year, Billy Butler, who's in the on-deck circle, he's hit more home runs, fewer doubles. And the other day he was complaining about the ballpark because it's robbed him of a couple of home runs here and there.
When you play 81 games in this ballpark, I can see if you're a home run hitter. That's why to get a 40 home run guy is tough in this ballpark.
It's 387 to the alleys, 410 to straightaway center.
you know, when you look at this ballpark, it's the 4th most doubles it has allowed and the 2nd most triples in all of baseball. So it is a great extra base hit. If you're a line drive hitter, you don't worry about the home runs. And if you can run, you're going to be a doubles and triples kind of guy. They're 3rd in the league in doubles. Kansas City is with 278. They're 1st in triples with 36. And Detroit was right there with them as well.
Oh.
But they're last in home runs, 121. And that doesn't surprise me.
In addition to the dimensions, it doesn't take much of a breeze blowing in to knock the ball down because there's nothing to obstruct it in the outfield. Gordon chased one up high, strikes out, 1 down here in inning number 1. Usually you've got an upper deck or some kind of an outfield seating area, but not here in Kansas City. So any kind of breeze coming in is going to knock the ball down.
Let's check out the Tribe defense. Neal, Brantley, and Chu in the outfield. It's Chisenhall, Cabrera, Phelps, and Kanzler on the infield with Santana doing the catching.
Here is Billy Butler now. Butler takes the first pitch strike. 27 dingers, 27 doubles. And sitting on 99 runs batted in. Butler struck out in his first 2 at-bats last night against Justin Masterson.
Escobar only the 3rd Royals shortstop to steal more than 30 bases in a season. Freddie Patek, UL Washington, and Escobar.
Patek was just a minute of a guy, and then UL Washington had the always present toothpick dangling from his lips.
Tough to steal bases with a toothpick in your mouth. Your mother would tell you, watch out, you're going to poke an eye out.
Yeah, you talk about Major League ball players and setting an example for kids. I don't know what's worse, a big chaw of tobacco or playing with a toothpick in your mouth.
Yeah.
Neither one real good.
Well, I mean, Dusty Baker still manages with that toothpick in his mouth.
Breaking ball fought off, goes the other way.
Well, here's it. We talked about Billy Butler and being such a good right-handed hitter and using the whole field. I think Cabrera, Miggy Cabrera, and I think Konerko. All guys in the Central Division. It seems like when they get guys in scoring position, they hit off that breaking ball. They'll foul off your good fastballs until you hang them a breaking ball and they can poke it into right center field. That's what makes them such great hitters.
Fouls that one straight back. And the count 2 balls, 2 strikes with a runner at second and 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Kansas City out to a 1-0 lead. And he lines it the other way, just like you were talking about, for a base hit. And with that, Billy Butler has driven in 100 runs on the season, and Kansas City now leads it 2-0.
Well, that does not surprise me at all. That's a fastball he just shoots the other way. I mean, he's a terrific hitter. I mean, these guys are fun to watch, and when you watch them enough, you get runners in scoring position. They'll just try and fight that fastball off or foul it off. If you make a mistake with it, he can do damage, and there's his base hit. But if you hang that breaking ball, he's going to drill it as well. They hit off that breaking ball, and he fights off the fastball there, so it's 2-0 Kansas City.
Mike Moustakas now having a terrific year. He drove in a couple of runs last night. Moustakas doing it on the sac fly a couple of times, and swing and a miss there, 1-1 to count. Well, One was a sac fly,
and
one was
a ground ball.
out.
But
Yeah.
that, like you say, when you get that guy on third base, there's more than one way to get him in. You don't have to get a hit. You get that guy on third base in less than 2 outs. Just put it in play sometimes and make contact to make sure the run gets home.
And he talked about that last night. You know, the Indians had the chance in the first inning to get the runner home from third with less than 2 out.
Couldn't do it.
They didn't get it done, and they ended up playing from behind. Good block by Santana. Managers all want to grab the early lead, and it's just a matter of simple math. If you score first, it takes 2 to beat you. I mean, it's just.
And when you don't score a lot of runs, it's always much better to play from in front.
Moustakis went down and pulls that pretty deep to right. Chu backpedaling and makes the catch, 2 down. Butler back to first. And we'll bring up Jeff Francoeur. Yeah, I think you're right. Not only is it a case of when you don't have a highly explosive offensive team, but especially just for a young team with confidence. You're playing with the lead.
Right.
You're not always feeling like you're fighting uphill.
And then 75 times out of the 151 games they've played, or 76 times, they've scored 3 runs or less. So that's every other game. So you don't want to fall behind too much. They're not a big come from behind team. You fall behind 2 or 3 runs, they don't hit a lot of 3-run homers. They may hit some home runs, but it's solo shots when they're going after them. Tough to come back.
Jeff Francoeur, 1 for 4, scored a couple of runs last night. Drives it to left. Thomas Neal will make the catch. And the inning is over. But Kansas City, with a couple of RBI hits here in the first, take a 2-0 lead. Brought to you by McDonald's Cherry Berry Chiller. Cherry and raspberry flavors blended with ice and 100% fruit juice. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Two 2-0 Kansas City. Second inning, Michael Brantley, Russ Kanzler, and Matt Laporta coming up for the try. Brantley 1 for 3 last night with a run batted in.
Yeah, that run gave him 60 RBIs on the season.
Hits one high to center field. Dyson drifting back, and he's got it one away. Time now to check out our AT&T trivia question tonight. Name the last Indians pitcher with 20 or more wins and 10 or more shutouts in a single season. 20 or more wins, 10 or more shutouts. I almost have to think Louis Tiant, maybe. Remember, he had that great year in 68? Yeah. The 0-1. It's outside. Russ Kanzler 0 for 1 last night. Squibs it off the end of the bat, up the first baseline, foul. Two balls, two strikes. As Will Smith winds, the left-hander's pitch is swung on and missed. He gets his first strikeout, and he's retired the first 5 in a row to start the game.
Well, you may want to head out to Arizona next spring with the Indians, whether you're looking for a week-long trip or just a weekend visit. They have travel packages that will fit your schedule. For premium seat locations, great prices, go to Indians.com or you can call 216-420-HITS.
Ground ball up the middle, and Matt Laporta has a base hit with 2 down here in the second inning. Indians get their first hit, and Laporta is 2 for 2 in the series.
See that ball got back on him a little bit, right back up the middle. First hit for the Indians, a 2-out single.
Lonnie Chisenhall will bat now with Laporta at first and 2 down. Chisenhall 0 for 4 last night. Well, tonight in New York, it will be a sleepless night for many of the Oakland A's. It will be a night of woulda, shoulda, coulda, as they ultimately fall to the New York Yankees in 14 innings on an error by Brandon Moss that allowed the Yankees to score the decisive run. 10-9 the final score, but Oakland scored 4 runs in the top of the 13th to take the lead, only to watch New York retaliate with 4 in the bottom of the 13th.
Boy, oh boy, 8 runs in an inning, an extra inning. That's tough to do.
And the A's did it with thunder. In that top half of the 13th, the A's got a 2-run homer from Johnny Gomes, back-to-back solo shots by Cespedes and Carter. And the Yankees came back and scored 4 runs on a wild pitch, a sacrifice fly, and then a 2-run homer. Indians are out here in the top half of the second. It's 2-0 Kansas City. Bottom of the second inning, bottom third of the Royals order due up here as Eric Hosmer leads off. And Ubaldo Jimenez misses down low, ball one. And a strike to even the count. So the Yankees beat Oakland in extra innings earlier today, and so did the Baltimore Orioles. They beat Boston in extra innings, 9-6 as Hosmer singles to left field. And what's interesting on that is that's now the 16th consecutive win in extra innings by the Baltimore Orioles. It's the longest streak since the Cleveland Indians won 17 consecutive extra inning games in 1949.
They lost their first two this year, and they haven't lost since.
Yeah, and they lost back-to-back games to the Yankees, April 10th and 11th.
Yeah, they lost their first two extra inning games, and then they haven't lost 16 straight. You remember they had a game in Boston, Baltimore did this year. It went 18 innings, and the kid, Davis, was the winning pitcher in that game.
Well,
that
today,
was much earlier in the year.
Today it was the 22-year veteran Jim Thome who got the go-ahead hit for the Orioles. Doubled home the go-ahead run, and then they tacked on a couple more, and they ultimately win it 9-6. So those Orioles continue to roll. They'll stay a game back of the Yankees in the AL East. Baltimore owns the best wild card spot, followed by Oakland. Great opportunity for the Angels now. The Angels could pick up a full game, though, on Oakland if they can beat the White Sox again. They thumped them pretty good last night. And the Tigers will certainly be rooting for the Angels tonight as well. Now the 1-1. Detroit blanked Minnesota this afternoon, and now Detroit will have a day-night doubleheader against the Twins tomorrow.
Long day of baseball.
And especially on a travel day, too.
Well, a travel day, and
line to left. Right there is Thomas Neal to grab it. And Hosmer's got to really hurry to get back. Neal's throw is a little bit offline, though, and it enabled Hosmer to reach the base. Should he have gone to the cutoff man to try and get in there?
Yeah, absolutely. You always go to the cutoff man. Two short throws are much easier than one long one. They're going to say he never re-tagged the bag, but he certainly did at second watch. He never left his foot off of it. And he comes back. I'm surprised he went that far. But sure you do. You go to your cutoff man, and then they can turn and throw. I mean, you try and get that little extra. It's way offline, and Hosmer easily gets back. But
Irving Falou, 2 for 4 last night, had an RBI, played terrific defensively. Hosmer takes off. Falou grounds it back off the glove of Jimenez, and it's going to work out for an infield single. Now there's a case where had Jimenez let that ball go through, they probably make an easy play up the middle.
Yes, they may have a double play. You never know. Although Hosmer was off and running on the play. But, you know, it's coming through and it's going right between his legs. He gets his glove on it. And when it does, it trickles off. And by the time Chisenhall can get there, Falou beats it out. It'll go as an infield single. Nothing you can do there. If it doesn't knock it down and go right in front of you, then it's going to go as a base hit. So now they've got 2 on and 1 out. Back to the top of the lineup.
Gerard Dyson walked, stole a base, and scored in the first.
Already 4 hits, so 2 hits in the first 2 innings for the Royals. And for me, Jimenez is not throwing hard tonight. He's down a little bit in velocity from what I can see.
The 1-0. Runners go. At least Hosmer was off. Throw down. Not in time.
Now, you see, here's Eric Hosmer, a first baseman, a big guy. Now, he has 16 stolen bases. He's only been caught once. But there, you don't hold him on. There's nobody at second base. That's how you steal third base, when your middle infielders don't do a job of holding them on. And if I'm Cord Phelps, I've got to hold him on because Dyson's the hitter. He's not really a pull hitter. or shouldn't be. He will get the stolen base, and he did it on his own because Falou never followed up, so it wasn't put on by the manager. So his 16th stolen base and the second one for the Royals tonight, and it's going to be a track meet unless they start something. There he goes.
Well, Falou took off that time. He probably felt like, uh-oh, I should have been going.
Well, one of the two.
Now the Indians, this is, okay, we talked about last night the number of, balls in the dirt that have gotten by, wild pitches.
Well, yeah.
Stolen bases, that's another item of priority in the offseason, going into next year. They've got to find a way to get better.
These guys have gone backwards. Last year they did a decent job of, I thought, controlling the running game. This year it's been total opposite.
And it's not all on the catch.
It's not on the catch. I'm blaming the pitching staff. They've got to give opportunities for the catcher to try and throw them out. 82% success rate for the opposition stealing bases. Jimenez, 32 out of 37. That's crazy. It's like a track meet every time you get together. He doesn't do a good job. Now, when you walk as many guys, he's 93 walks, 183 hits. With the total number of base runners you have, and now they're going to continue to run, you can't control a game. You're going to give up 4 or 5 runs a game. That's why his ERA is so high.
He was off and running. If Dyson had let that go, and I don't think it was going to be a strike, then Falou would have had himself a stolen base right there.
Well, he had a good jump, let's put it that way. And we've showed you before, it looks like Jimenez, every time he gets ready, he leans back before he gets his wind-up going, and base runners pick that up. They know the first base coaches have watches, clocks, and they time everything. They know what's going on.
Runner holds this time. Strike 3 called. Rung him up outside corner. Second strikeout for Jimenez. And there are 2 down.
Dropped the old curveball on him. Jared Dyson was looking for anything but this pitch on the outside corner. You can see at 80 miles per hour he gives up on it, and he will go down as a strikeout victim. First called strikeout for Jimenez.
Alcides Escobar doubled down the right field line his first time up. Punches it to the right side. Diving stop by Phelps. Gets up, throws. Got him. A bang-bang play at first. And Jimenez is out of the inning. 2 complete from Kansas City. It's the Royals 2 and the Indians nothing. To stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Thomas Neal, Court Phelps, and Shin-Soo Choo due for the Tribe here in inning number 3.
What a nice play by Phelps to end that inning. Taking a base hit away from Escobar.
Yeah, really was a nice diving stop.
Yes, it was.
He had to quickly get to his feet, made a good, strong throw.
Oh, it saved a run.
Thomas Neal will lead it off. Came to the Indians from the San Francisco Giants in the Orlando Cabrera trade. Looks at ball one. A ball and a strike to count here on Neal. Foul down the right side. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Smith shot for that outside corner. Neal able to lay off, and now a count is back to even at 2-2. Neal drives one to deep left center field. Gordon back. Going to give way to Dyson, who ends up making the catch as the center fielder raced into the gap to pull it down 1 away. Before Cord Phelps comes up, let's go back and look at his defensive effort that ended the last half inning.
That's going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. And that is. You got to love a play like that. Get you out of the inning, saves a run. Yeah. If you're the pitcher, go give him a high five right there. Nice play.
Now Phelps stands in and fouls the first pitch out of play. Offensively, Phelps just 1 for 14 at the plate. And now down on the count 0-2. Close pitch, didn't get the call. And so Phelps stays alive. The count even at 2-2. Fights it off. Smith came to the Royals from the Angels organization as part of the deal that sent Alberto Calespo out to the West Coast back in 2010. Strikes out Phelps looking. Second strikeout for Smith. 2 down here in the third.
Well, he follows up that breaking ball that he fouled off with, and it's a fastball right there. It was down the middle of the plate, down at the knees, though. And he took a called third.
Last year, Will Smith really had a breakout campaign at Double-A. He went 13-9, led the league with those 13 wins, had an ERA of 3.85. And he punched out 108 batters, walked 45 in over 160 innings of work. .6'5", 250 pounds.
But he's not overpowering. You know, you see his size, you think he'd be a flamethrower, which he is not.
But at 23 years old, you know, a guy that the Royals certainly like to have, even if he's just what they call a depth pitcher, somebody that can, you know, make a spot start, you know,
sure,
be at Triple-A, give you an extra arm.
Well, they've had some injuries this year to their starters, and you know that's how he had an opportunity at least to get in and get on the mound and get into the rotation. Okay, I didn't know if those guys knew what the count was. 2-out base runner.
Take another look here.
Oh, that's right. It was down the middle, so it's a ball.
I'm thinking, what in the world?
My goodness.
Chu says thank you, and he's at first with 2 down as Dribble Cabrera fly to center his first time up. I'm sure in your during the course of your career, you never felt like they evened out. Whenever you got a pitch that you knew was a strike and they called it a ball, you thought, you still owe me about 10.
Well, when you get one right there, you better feel very fortunate.
Lazy pop to center. This should end the inning. Dyson is under it. He's got it. And Will Smith, 3 scoreless innings under his belt. 2-0 Kansas City. The big league mascot.
Look at him go.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Home half of the third. Alex Gordon, Billy Butler, and Mike Moustakas due up for Kansas City as Ubaldo Jimenez fires. And it's up high, ball 1. Jimenez 42 pitches through the first 2 innings here tonight. Gordon sends a high pop to center field. I don't want to just focus on the number of pitches because pitch count, I do agree that pitch count is, to a degree, overrated. But in the case of Jimenez, that's something when you talk about getting better. You know, if you limit the traffic on the bases, you're going to keep the number of pitches down. So that's part of the problem with the walks combined with the hits. A lot of base runners, which just forces him to work a lot harder to get through innings.
Yeah,
so
it does. And, you know, your distance in games, if you can't go 6 and 7 innings, I mean, sometimes you're not doing your team a whole lot of good if you can only go 5 and get out of there, and you're giving up 4 runs every time you're doing it.
If he was the Indians' 5th starter, then you probably wouldn't have as much of an issue with it. But they're counting on him to be at the front end of the rotation. This is a guy you want to be going 6 and 7 innings every time.
From what I've seen, he's not a front end of the rotation pitcher. Not with the stuff he's shown us this year. You know, when you look at it, you look at him and Masterson. Now, Jimenez leads the league in losses with 16. Masterson right behind him with 15. Those guys are 1 and 2 in the league. Now, they've been back-to-back for most of the – they've only won, twice back-to-back games between the two of them. And that's all year long. That's hard to do. And those are going to be your top 2 guns.
The 3-1 pitch is a strike call. Butler didn't like it. And it's a full count now. Out of play. Well, based on what you just said right there, that's where the Indians are, when they go into the offseason and they start considering what do we do for 2013. Do they pick up the option on Jimenez? Do they bring back Roberto Hernandez?
There's a lot of decisions that have to be made in this offseason. And they're going to have to go out and find some pitching. They are definitely going to have to do that. They cannot stay with the rotation that they have now.
Hernandez
he's not even going to pitch the rest of the year. You know, so who knows? This was just a totally lost year for him. He added nothing.
Part of it was his own doing.
Of course it was.
Of course, the injury sidelined any chance he had of at least getting some innings under his belt going into the offseason.
Well, I knew it was going to be tough, even when he was coming back, because you're coming back in, August, trying to make up for the rest of the year in a month, and you just can't do it.
Hanging breaking ball, and it's banged into right center field for Butler. Patented inside-out swing by the Royals DH, and he'll go into second base with his second hit of the night, his 28th double of the year.
Now, if you guys want to watch a right-hander at work, just watch Billy Butler hit. He fouled off the fastballs, and what's he do? He waits for that breaking ball, and then he doesn't miss it. He drives it to right center field. He's sitting on that pitch. And, I mean, time and time again, you know, the minute you think, okay, we've got him set up for that breaking ball, let's throw it to him. Okay, you turn around and you'll see him on second base.
It doesn't hurt that breaking ball is a little flat in the middle of the plate.
It was not located. That's true. But that's what those guys live off of. They live off the hanging breaking balls, and they foul off your good fastballs, and you're thinking, okay, he's getting the timing ready. He's getting it ready to go. I'm telling you, Cabrera, him, and Konerko, they do it. They're all the same. Watch them.
As a former manager once told me, nobody makes their living hitting fastballs and breaking balls on the black, on the outside corners. You make your living by hitting mistakes. When a guy misses in the middle of the plate, you have to take advantage.
The difference with these guys, they don't miss it when they get it. They put it in play. That's why they're elite hitters.
Popped him up, back out of play. Curveball banged foul by Moustakas. Well, the Kansas City Royals are in a similar situation going into the offseason that the Indians are in, and that they're going out, they're looking for pitching. I think that the only difference is that the Royals might have a little more clearly defined idea of exactly, specifically what they want to acquire, what they need. Popped him up.
But then it's a matter of going out and acquiring that.
Yeah, it's not just spending, but you've got to convince a potential free agent that you want to come here and pitch.
Yeah, or work that trade out, because they're going to have some opportunities with the good young players they have here. But, you know, if you're going, depending on what kind of pitcher you're going after, you may have to give up some of that young talent that you have up here.
True.
As far as position players go.
Jeff Francoeur for one fly to left his first time up. Hit him with a curveball.
Well, he didn't. He was going to take it. He saw it coming. He knew he was going to get hit. It's the breaking ball, so he takes it on the shoulder and will jog down to first. Almost like he knew it. Watch this. It gets away from him. Leaned down into it, didn't he?
Yeah.
All right, I'll take that one. Go to first base.
You can't lean over the plate, but you don't have to get out of the way.
Well, again, now the Royals with two base runners in an inning. So the first three innings, they have had their share of guys on base with opportunities to score. Took a great play to end last inning by Cord Phelps, retiring Escobar. But, you know, the more, this is what you call, when you talk about pitch count, you don't worry about it. You worry about it when there's base runners every time and with opportunities to score, because there's so many times you're going to dodge the bullet and get out without giving up runs. Sooner or later, you're going to get hurt, especially after giving up 2 runs in the first inning.
Royals had 3 base runners in the first inning, 2 in the second, and now 2 more here in the third. So it goes back to what we talked about, traffic on the bases. He can't stop the running game.
Well, he can because he lets Billy Butler on.
Well, but that leads to problems too, because, you know, it's not just extra base runners, but now when you can't slow down the running game, you're giving up extra bases. So a walk turns into a double turns into a triple. Whatever the case is,
it can. Well, 32 times they've stolen bases on him this year, so it certainly can.
Good grab by Santana. That one was headed to the backstop.
And then if they don't steal, he can be his own worst enemy. He has 16 wild pitches. And Santana saves him here on a fastball up and out of the way. He had to jump up to catch that one.
Two on, 2 out, 2-2 pitch. In the dirt, full count. Hosmer singled to left his first time up. And now Jimenez ready. The runners go. The 3-2 pitch. Chopped off the plate, up the line. Jimenez with a grab and a tag, and the inning is over. Nice athletic play by Ubaldo Jimenez to get the ball and apply the tag to end the inning. 3 complete. Royals 2, Indians nothing. Back in the day from the girls.
94 and 95. Well, Ron's going to tell us, hi, girls. They're waving. They know it.
Kansas City out to the 2-0 lead. They got both in the first. And so far, Will Smith has made it stand up. He'll face Carlos Santana, Michael Brantley, and Russ Kanzler. Pitch to Santana is popped to right. Frank Coeur on the move near the line. 1 away. Look at the minor league update. Brought to you by University Hospitals. Paulo Espino, 7-4, 3.29 ERA. Here is Michael Brantley. Now, Michael's batting in the cleanup spot tonight, but obviously, as we all know, he's not a cleanup hitter. He's a good hitter, and he's batted cleanup a lot this year because Manny has just said, well, he's a guy, he can put the ball in play and he hits for a good average, so I'm going to bat him cleanup. This is an area
he doesn't give away at bats
where the Indians have to make improvement next year. Their 4-hole hitters this year have hit the fewest number of home runs in the American League. 16 home runs all year long.
Coming out of the 4-hole. Yeah. That's your power spot.
So that's got to be a very high priority item going into this offseason, is upgrading whoever it is that's going to bat in that cleanup spot, whether it's finding a left fielder that could be that guy, a DH that could be that guy. Brantley lines one into left field for a base hit. A one-out base runner for the Tribe here in the 4th.
Second hit of the night. And that's why Michael doesn't give away at bats. He goes up there and he's a line drive hitter, so he's going to get his base hits, he'll get his doubles, but you don't look for home runs for him. And he's been hitting in the 4 and 5 spot this year because they don't have anybody else that can do it, and that's what he's called upon to do. But he has 60 RBIs.
Russ Kanzler struck out his first time up. One hop smash gets by Escobar. And Brantley hits the bag, keeps on going. Good base running there. And he'll go to third. So the Indians on back-to-back hits have runners at the corners with one out.
Yeah, why not? He could read where that ball was bouncing. It was right in front of him, so he decides I'm going to hit second and keep going. He realized that Escobar wasn't going to get there. Falou had to get that ball. That had some top spin on it and ate him up. And sure, that ball gets away, so Falou's got to go get it, but that enables Michael to get to third base. So now with one out, they have runners at the corners and a chance to get on the board. Matt Laporta's getting an opportunity now, who singled in his first at bat.
Yeah, he's got 2 hits and 2 at bats in the series after getting a pinch hit single in his only trip last night. And it's outside for ball 1. Will Smith sets and fires, and Laporta chased down low, 1-1.
See, there's a count for Matt. You've got a man on third base, you've got a 1-0 count, and your geared fastball, and he ended up chasing a changeup that was probably out of the zone. Could have been sitting in a really good hitter's count, 2-0, if you're disciplined enough to do that.
Foul right back, down on the count, 1-2. This has been a problem, and Manny Acta talked about it after the game last night. All season long for the Indians, runners in scoring position, and he really feels like the Indians have a lot of hitters who just cannot relax in these situations.
No.
They put all the pressure on themselves. Instead of driving in that run from third, too many guys are thinking about driving in 3 runs in this situation instead of just get the run home from third.
When you're getting situations like this, it's a mentality. You have to want it. I mean, you can work at it and you can do it anything you want. You can feel the pressure or something like that, but not a lot of guys like to get in situations where you drive in runs. Some guys don't like it. Man, that's fun, man. That's where you make your money.
Well, Laporta's caught looking at a 92-mile-an-hour fastball for out number 2.
Well, that's the 3rd strikeout. 2 of them have been called, but that's your money pitch, your fastball. Knee high, Man on third base, but he threw him a couple of change-ups.
Ball was right down the middle of the
I
plate.
I know it. You got to find a way to put it in play, or at least foul it off.
2 down now for Lonnie Chisenhall. Grounded out his first time up. Back out of play. At a piece, it's 0-2. Lonnie pops it to left field. Routine play for Alex Gordon. And the Indians strand a pair. Middle of the fourth, 2-0 Kansas City.
City of Fountains, huh?
Yes, indeed.
Got a big art show going on down in the plaza area this weekend.
Brian Pena fly to left his first time up. I knew they had a band set up on the stage over there in the plaza.
Right.
But at some point this afternoon, I thought, man, they cranked up the sound, and I went to look out the window. There's a band in the swimming pool.
Yeah,
too.
at the hotel. I think there's a wedding going on over there.
Pena drives one into the gap in right center field. That'll get down and go to the wall. Pena on his way to second base.
No.
He's going to turn and burn for 3. Phelps with the relay. He is safe.
Oh, I thought they tagged him before he got there. This guy should never get a triple.
Pena's first triple of the year, but he has really swung a potent bat against the Indians all season long.
Well, he says when he gets the opportunity, he knows it's Perez's team, but he leaves him one out over the plate, and he drilled it into the alley, which is fine. Michael gets there, good relay. The throw from Phelps comes in. Well, he can't tell from that angle. He calls him safe. He's on the wrong side. This will be a better angle. You got to get down. You got to get down. He goes sliding in. Let's see. He got him before his foot got down, I thought.
Sure did. Foot was in the air.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, but he was behind the play and called him safe. It goes as a triple, as you mentioned, his first.
First ever.
Told you this is a big old ballpark.
Yes, it is.
Hey, I give him credit. He tried. And, you know, when you're leading off here, you never want to make that first out at third base, the first or third out. He was able to get in. He was called safe, so it works out very well. If he was out, you know, in a 2-0 ball game, you would have said, hey, stay right at second base next time with nobody out.
Infield drawn in for the Indians, but at least with a 2-0 lead,
yeah,
it's not as bad to take that risk.
Yeah, it's not like if you're losing.
Yeah, if you're down 2-0, you got to stop at second base.
Well, it paid off. He was called safe, so you tip your cap and you say, all right, good hustle. Now we'll see if they can get him in.
Falou, a swing and a miss. It's 2-2. Falou grounded one right back up the middle his first time up, and it glanced off the glove of Jimenez and went for an infield single. Ubaldo already over 70 pitches on the night. That's popped foul, and they can't get to it. By comparison, 73 pitches for Jimenez, pitching in this fourth inning with nobody out. His counterpart has already pitched 4 complete innings, and Will Smith has only made 54 pitches. So,
okay, so you're looking at 20 pitch difference, and there's still nobody out. Well, this will be the 20th pitch of difference.
And Falou is just trying to get the big guy home from third. But because he doesn't have great speed, the Indians can afford to play the infield in, but not all the way in.
See if he gets him to roll over that breaking ball on the outside like he got Dyson. Nope.
Try to run it inside, and he lays off. Full count. Right to the shortstop, Cabrera, who can look back Pena, and that's out number 1. Injury report tonight brought to you by Elk & Elk, serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Well, the Oakland Athletics, who are trying to run down Texas in the West and trying to nail down a wild card spot, well, they'll be without Brett Anderson for the rest of the regular season. He could come back should they make the postseason. Gerard Dyson, overly aggressive. He went wailing away, and it's 0-1.
Well, you can see these little guys, you know, they get into RBI situations, man on third, less than 2 outs. They get aggressive. So he backs off, throws a changeup. He struck him out last time on that breaking ball away.
Ran the fastball outside, 1-1.
Yeah, you almost show him the fastball here, see if he can get him to chase anything.
Pena, the runner at third. That pitch went with that breaking ball and missed. 2-1.
Helps him out again.
He keeps testing his patience, and Dyson just cannot stay with that patient approach.
He's helped him out. He could be on first base right now.
Should
throw him another
right.
changeup.
Right. Got him. Same pitch. He stayed right with it, and Dyson strikes out. So 2 down. So what you're seeing here is that while we see the Indians every single day throughout the course of the year, sometimes the problems that the Indians have are not unique to the Indians. You see a lot of teams struggle in these situations with that runner in scoring position. A lot of times it just depends on who the hitter is.
These 2 guys that you just saw, Falou and Dyson, they're table setters. Their job is to get on base. You know, when you have to go at them with nobody on, they got to try and get on and create havoc, make things happen. They don't know how to drive them in. So they're, they get anxious. They get, they think they can swing at anything and everything.
Ground ball on the right side. Hansler with a nice backhand stop, goes to the bag, and the inning is over. So a leadoff triple dies at third for Kansas City, and the Royals still lead it 2-0. "17 locations in Northeast Ohio. By Levin's, home of the Sealy Posturepedic mattress made right here in Northeast Ohio. By Kia, Cleveland.com. And by First Merit Bank. Beautiful Kauffman Stadium here in Kansas City, where the Royals hold a 2-0 lead over the Indians. Kansas City trying to win their 7th straight against the Tribe this year. See Santana and Ubaldo Jimenez going over the inning with Coach Ruben Niebla.
Well, he did a good job to get out of that inning. He had to face the little guys, but kept it a 2-0 ball game after the leadoff triple.
Thomas Neal flied to pretty deep center field his first time up. Couldn't hold up. 0-2. That's a foul ball. Boy, it was fair about 3/4 of the way up that first base line. And then right before the bag, it kicked into foul ground.
Had spin on it,
Yeah.
I think, after it. I thought it was going to stay fair. Fair, and then it hit that one spot and it just kicked right.
Way up high and out of the zone. One ball, 2 strikes. That one foul, third base side. A little bit low, 2-2. And again, good patience by Thomas Neal. And He's got himself into a good hitter's count now. 3-2, leading off the 5th inning. Fouled back out of play. Tenth pitch of the at bat fouled away.
He's making him work to get him out. Down in the count 0-2. And to get it to 10 pitches, that's a pretty good battle.
Thomas the Tank Engine, he was nicknamed in the minor leagues. I think I can. He's got that mentality right here. Fights it off again.
Well, he's giving the fans some souvenirs. They're hard ones to get, though, because he's lining them into the seats.
Those softies.
They're diving out of the way.
Smith will try again. And that's line fair down the right field line.
Boy, how about that?
The persistence pays off for Thomas Neal. Frank Core did a terrific job to get over and cut it off and keep that from being extra bases.
Yes,
the Indians get their leadoff man aboard for the first time tonight.
Yeah, he really did. I thought that was a double, especially it hits line. It hits the chalk. He was very late on that fastball, but what a terrific at-bat to battle and stay around and foul off a number of pitches and finally get one he can put in play. He'll get the 5th inning started off with a single. That is now 4 hits. All singles for the Tribe tonight.
And now Cord Phelps will be the batter, and we'll see if that lengthy battle between Smith and Thomas Neal takes anything out of Will Smith. Phelps fouls it back out of play. Will Smith was another one of those terrific finds by Casey Kochman's dad, Tom Kochman, who a longtime scout for the Angels. Found Will Smith at Gulf Coast Community College down in Florida. And the Angels were able to nab him with a 7th round pick back in 2008. Phelps with a long fly ball to deep left field. Gordon is back. He's looking up. It is gone to the Royals bullpen. And Cord Phelps with one swing of the bat has his first home run of the year and has tied the game at 2.
Yeah, he tried to run that pitch inside, and Cord says no way. He was very quick in there, and he hits one out of the ballpark, and believe it or not, ties this game up. It seems like the Indians are down more than 2, but they are not. There's the quick swing, and that ball had some carry into the Royals bullpen. We have a new ball game. Phelps, his first home run.
I think the reason for what you're talking about is they don't hit a lot of home runs. So even though it's only a couple of runs, so many times, you know, it takes them 3 or 4 hits in an inning to get a run. You know, the extra base hit has been lacking of late.
Well, that's the 12th home run given up by Smith, and I mean, they have had base runners every inning, and they've only been able to put 2 on the board, and with one swing of the bat, the Indians come back and tie it up after a great at bat by Neal. So the 8-9 men set the table for the Indians and bring this ball game back to even.
And a base hit for Shin-Soo Choo. 3 straight hits now here in the 5th, and I said it at the time. You get a guy who has a 10, 11, 12 pitch at bat, and sometimes it just takes a little bit out of a pitcher, whether it's his resolve or whether it's just a physical toll. And sometimes that's when a team will break through against the guy.
Well, Choo gets that base hit off a fastball in. He shoots it to left. So you're right, the big at bat by Neal, then the homer by Phelps, and now the single by Choo. That sends Island out to the mound to talk.
And as Dribble Cabrera 0 for 2 has flied to center twice tonight coming up right now. Kansas City bullpen up and busy. Just like that. Will Smith was just cruising along, but He's run into a snag here in the fifth, and Everett Tiford is getting hot. Smith just over 70 pitches on the night. Chu draws a throw. Cabrera sends it up the middle, easy double play ball. Now there's a case, Rick, where Chu looked like he was going to take off. He kind of bluffed a couple of steps towards second base, and I'm not sure why he stopped, unless it was another case where you got out there and pitcher hadn't thrown the ball yet and he just wasn't sure.
Well, that could be, but even if he was off and running,
he still would have had him anyway.
Oh yeah, where they were playing on a double plate, he was right there. He couldn't have been positioned any better. But I did see him a movement over there, like he was off to run and then stopped again. You know, if you do that as a base runner, sometimes you think you didn't get a good jump and you put the brakes on.
One and one to count on Carlos Santana, who is 0 for 2 tonight, 1 for 5 in the series. Santana smashes one to third, and Moustakas can't come up with it. And it'll be a base hit for Carlos Santana as the Indians have 4 hits in the inning. Moustakas is a very good defensive third baseman.
Well, he was going to his backhand side, and this was all going to have to be done in one motion. That was an in-between hop. And this is either do or die play at third base. You either make it and it goes into that glove, or it's not going to happen. And it didn't happen for him right there. You know, when they expect anything hit down that way is usually the play is usually made, but that'll go as a base hit for Santana, and rightfully so.
And now Michael Brantley, who singled his last time up, and he drives one to deep right field. Frank Coor's got a long run. He's on the front edge of the track and makes the catch to end the inning. So Brantley gave it a ride, but comes up short. However, the Indians get a 2-run blast from Cord Phelps, and we're all tied at 2. And for Kansas City, they'll send Alex Gordon, Billy Butler, and Mike Moustakas to the plate.
Tonight was blanket night. They're getting it out because it's a little chilly here tonight, so they're getting their Royals blanket to cover it up now.
Good timing.
His girlfriend / or wife has the Indians hat on, and he's got the Royals blanket trying to keep his legs warm.
Yeah,
but you notice she's saying, I don't want it.
That. I know part of that.
No sirree.
Alex Gordon checks at a ball down low. 1-0 the count.
Well, big inning here for Ubaldo. They've had opportunities every single inning. He needs a clean one here, especially after the Indians tie the ball game up. Be set up beautifully for him if he can go 1, 2, 3. And against the big part of their lineup, no less.
A strike is called, and the count 2-1. It's fouled straight back. You know, Alex Gordon is another one of those guys that's a good example for fans and organizations when it comes to young players and expectations. Because sometimes you want so badly for a guy to pan out, to be everything you envision him to be. And that's where patience comes into play, because he didn't set the world on fire, even though they had very lofty expectations for him first couple of years. His numbers offensively were pretty modest at 247, 260. And then 09, he was hurt for a chunk of the season and was spent time down in the minor leagues. 2010, not much better. And then last year, it all came together.
He started out as a third baseman. They moved him to the outfield, and he really changed when he became an outfielder.
Indians bullpen is busy as we get the answer to the trivia question brought to you by AT&T. 20 wins, 10 or more shutouts in a year.
Bob Lemon.
20 wins, 10 shutouts.
Oh, he's born on this day.
48. Billy Butler, 2 for 2, an RBI single and a double. And both of its hits, he has shot the other way. This time he sends it to center field, and that's out number 1.
Well, 2013 season tickets now available. You can take advantage of the brand new customizable season ticket holder benefits package. It's called Tribe Rewards, where you spend points however you choose on experiences like throwing out a first pitch or attending a pregame press conference. If you would like more information, call 216-420-HITS.
Back to the bag goes Alex Gordon. He has 10 steals on the year. Moustakas fly to right, popped up on the infield tonight.
Well, the 2 walks that Ubaldo has tonight, it was the first leading off the game, Dyson, and he wasted no time to steal. And then the leadoff hitter in the 5th inning after they scored 2. Now, I don't know if Gordon's hand is okay to steal, if he goes in head first or not, but I would think that if he can get a jump, they're going to send him.
Well, maybe not now. It's 3-0 on Moustakas. Tribe bullpen is ready to go. Jimenez at 92 pitches on the night.
Got to take one here, don't you?
He does. It's ball 4. So he's walked 2 here in the 5th. And he has opened the door up for Kansas City to come right back.
Well, he sure has. And I mean, you know, especially when you come back, that's what the Indians pitchers have done, and they've done a poor job at it this year, is going out and putting zeros on the board after they score, especially in the second half. I mean, there's been a lot of response runs by a lot of different teams. And now the Royals haven't even had to hit their way to get on base. They've given them 2 walks.
And Frank Coor singles into left field. Gordon stops at third because Thomas Neal got to it quickly.
I'm still a little shocked that they held him up.
Bases are loaded with 1 out, and Eric Hosmer will be the batter.
Well, you have Hosmer, the next guy. You want to be sure you don't want to make it out at home plate. And Frank Coor jumped on that first pitch, but there's only so many times you can pitch your way out of trouble.
Well, I think that might be it for Ubaldo.
Well,
yep,
yeah.
That is it.
That's why I thought they would try and send Gordon on this play, although you could see where Neal was in left field.
Boy, Ubaldo Jimenez is done after just 4 1/3 innings of work here tonight.
It's lucky to be a 2-2 game.
Chris Seddon's coming on when we come back. Loaded him up with 1 out, and Eric Hosmer will be the batter against left-hander Chris Seddon, making his 14th appearance of the year. No wins, a loss, ERA 4.40. He'll be facing Eric Hosmer, who has singled and he has grounded out. He chopped one off the plate his last time up.
Well, and you hate to bring guys in from the bullpen with bases loaded, but no choice there. Because after the Indians tied it up and Jimenez went back out there, walked the leadoff man. He was able to get the tough out of the inning, Billy Butler, who was 2 for 2. But then he walked Moustakas. Frank Coor got a base hit. And really nothing you could do. Bases loaded, 1 out. They're going to sit back and play for 2 up the middle. And we'll see what Chris Seddon can do here.
And it's ball 1. Hosmer hitting .225 against left-handed pitching on the year. And just 3 of his 14 homers have come against the Southpaws. 1-1 to count. Switch hitting Brian Pena waits on deck.
Well, what he did last night, he got the sacrifice fly off Maine. He waited, let it track deep into the zone, and tried to shoot it to left field.
Nails the outside part of the plate with that pitch, and it's 1-2.
This was a good pitch, down and away with authority. Well located fastball there by Seddon.
Now the 1-2. He just reached for it and taps it to third. Chisenhall comes home. Santana with a stretch. He came off the plate. Chisenhall's throw is up the first base line, and Santana's foot came off the plate. Manny Acta will come out to argue, but I think Lance Barksdale made the right call. At least from up here, it did look like Carlos, in stretching for the ball, it looked like his foot did come off the plate. Let's take another look and see what we can tell.
He ended up having to turn into like a first baseman. You know, I don't know if his foot was off the place to begin with. He was right there. Let's see where the throw comes in. From Chisenhall, there's the throw. It's wide. He's stretching like a first baseman.
Now there it looks like maybe the toe is still on, but it's hard to tell.
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. He's right back there. They slide in. It was awfully close. I mean, you're talking about an inch, if anything. That'll go as a fielder's choice, an RBI. They get the run home. Boy, oh boy, it needed a throw. Chisenhall coming off the bag was moving to his left. Had to make the throw on the move, and it just, I guess, pulled Santana off.
I know it wasn't a great throw, but it sure seemed like, as close as that was, that Santana could have gotten the benefit of the doubt. Pena lifts one to fairly deep left, deep enough to get the run home. Tagging is Moustakas. He'll come home, and the Royals get the 2 runs right back, and they lead it now 4-2.
Down the response runs. There they go. Both of them being charged to Jimenez.
Take one more look on that play at the plate. Let's see if we get a better look.
Okay, we're going to zone in.
It's still hard to really.
It's hard to tell. Well,
I guess from that angle, it looks like
an
he's
inch.
off. Huh?
You're talking about an inch right there by the time he catches the ball. The side of his foot looks like it starts on the plate, but there's a space. You can see it right there, but my goodness.
I guess that's what the umpire's seen.
1 inch.
Sees a little
he
space.
saw some gap. He saw, yeah, he sure did. Boy, that's, talk about the game of inches. That inch cost him a run.
Irving Falou looks at a ball downstairs.
If that throw was there, then that's that fly ball right there. You're out of the inning. You get that out at the plate. But both the walks come around to score.
Popped up foul, out of play. Timeout as Santana goes out to talk with Sid. The pitch. And Falou with a line drive, base hit into left field, coming around third. Frank Gore will try to score. He will, because Thomas Neal couldn't come up with the ball. And going into third is Hosmer. Neal was going to try to scoop it and make a throw, and he did neither.
Well, he was going to try to make the throw. I would think it would be a base hit and an error because Hosmer was going, I think he was going to stay at second.
Well, Frank Gore is going to score, so that's an RBI.
Yeah, that's the RBI. No question about that one. Frank Gore scores. With 2 outs, you're going to send him anyway. But here's where the error comes in.
Hosmer going to third.
Hosmer going to third. I don't know. They possibly could say he was going to get there anyway. I don't know how they scored it. There is an error.
They did give him an error, yeah.
You overrun the ball, you got to make sure you catch it first.
So the book is closed on Ubaldo Jimenez, who gives up 5 runs in 4 1/3 innings here tonight. guess Maniac is going to make another pitching change.
Yeah.
With the left-handed hitting, or did they already send a pinch hitter up? Yeah, they already had a pinch hitter coming up, so that's why Manny goes to the mound. We get a timeout. It's 5-2 Kansas City. Royals now lead 5-2. And Frank Herman is the new Indians pitcher after Chris Seddon worked just 1/3 of an inning. Herman called upon when Ned Yost went to his bench for Jason Bourgeois, who will pinch hit for Gerard Dyson. And then presumably will stay in the game. We'll wait and see how it all fans out. At third base, Eric Hosmer. At first base, Irving Falou. Bourgeois as a pinch hitter 0 for 4. He's batted 48 times. He's come up with 15 hits. Runner at first takes off, and Falou is out at second base. That'll end the inning. So a good throw by Carlos Santana. Quick tag applied by Cord Phelps. And the running Royals are done here in the 5th, but they lead it 5-2. to an upcoming home game, it's the place to be for a chance to win Subway gift cards, Indians fun money, and get great discounts on your next Subway purchase. Subway, where winners eat. Well, 5-2 Kansas City on top. And we go now to the 6th inning. Jason Bourgeois does stay in the game in center field. Will Smith will start this 6th inning with 79 pitches under his belt. He'll go at Russ Kanzler, Matt Laporta, and Lonnie Chisenhall. Kanzler 1 for 2, singled his last time up.
Well, they tied it up in the top of the 5th, but right back comes Kansas City to take a 3-run lead. He can go out there and take a little deep breath, try and settle back in.
In the hole, backhanded by Escobar. Long throw too high. And Kanzler is aboard to start the 6th inning for the Indians. It will go as an infield hit.
Well, yes, because there you get Escobar, who really tried to plant, and I mean, he's got a great arm. He tried to put a little extra on it, and it was over the head of Eric Hosmer at first base. Look at that. He got enough on it. If it's there, it would have been close. He let the rocket go. But it'll go as a base hit, so back come the Indians with their leadoff man aboard again for the 2nd straight inning.
Matt Laporta. I don't know if he broke his bat or just threw the bat, but the Royals will turn a double play. I think he just threw it.
You know what? I think you're right, because I don't see any part of the handle around. He just let it go. He was fooled on the pitch. It must have been a changeup. Let's see. Yeah, the bat went flying out of his hand. There it goes. It's a weak ground ball, and it's turned into a double play.
So with 2 down, Lonnie Chisenhall to the plate. He pops one up. Shallow left field. And the Indians go quickly here in the 6th. 5-2 Kansas City. Kansas City. Send hello back to Grandma. Unfortunately for the Tribe fans, the Royals lead at 5-2, and they came roaring right back after the Indians got a 2-run homer from Cord Phelps to tie the game 2-2 in the 5th. They scored 3 in the bottom of the 5th
as Ubaldo Jimenez loaded the bases with a couple of walks and some shoddy defense, enabled Kansas City to extend their lead. First ball swinging, Bourgeois flies to right, 1 down. Sunday night at 7, Bruce Drennan will be in with All Bets Are Off. He'll take calls and emails following the Browns-Bills game. See if Cleveland can shut down C.J. Spiller, Ryan Fitzpatrick in the high-flying Buffalo offense. And I'm sure folks will want to know what Bruce's thoughts are on Trent Richardson and how he responds running in front of Jim Brown, who will be there as part of a big Browns alumni reunion. Remember when Richardson was drafted, somehow Jim Brown was quoted and it went viral in a hurry, saying that he didn't think he was anything special. He was just kind of an ordinary back. So certainly that's motivated Trent Richardson, who has said all the right things. From all indications, he's a great kid, and all he said was, you know what, I haven't done anything yet, so I'm not anything special. But don't think that that's not burning deep inside of him, right?
Good for him. Yeah. Go out and prove it.
That's right. Alcides Escobar needs a new piece of lumber. He doubled in a run and scored in the first. And then he was robbed of an RBI and a hit in the second on a nice diving stop by Cord Phelps at second base. And a curveball drops in there for strike 2. Fly ball to right. Chew back. He's there. He's got it. 2 away. Let's go back to the Hyundai Studios right now for an in-game update with Al Pawlowski. All right, thanks, Al. Yeah, Tampa needs a lot of help, though.
Well, they do. They certainly do. But they got a flair for the dramatics. You just
That's
never
true.
really count them out.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
they've
right.
earned the reputation. Hey, boys, we're never out of it. But you're right. They need a lot of help. Is right. They had that one spell where they lost 8 out of 11.
Yeah, I mean, it was at the worst possible time because
Right.
while they were losing, both New York and Baltimore were winning every game.
Yeah.
So the gap just built and built and built. And as we talked about, the wild card is just such a mess. You got to try to win your division because the wild card is just so up for grabs.
Well, it's created a lot of interest here, that extra wild card team.
Yeah, it has.
When you look at it in the National League, not as much so because Atlanta looks like they're cruising into it easily for the first wild card. But
St. Louis finally stopped Milwaukee's momentum. Cardinals got a much-needed win. Milwaukee got hammered by Washington. So that knocks the Brewers, 2.5 games now back of the Cardinals for that final wild card spot. But in that game for the Washington Nationals, Gio Gonzalez, I think, got his 20th win today.
Yeah, he's had spectacular year. There's the National League wild card right there. St. Louis with a 2.5 game lead up. And, Atlanta's not going anywhere. They've played too well.
I tell you, regardless of how it finishes, for both Milwaukee and Philly, that's a real feather in their cap from where they were to where they are, still competing in the last 2 weeks of the season. Royals go 1-2-3, and after 6, it's Kansas City 5, Cleveland 2.
student ID game. It's presented by Taco Bell, Doritos, Locos Taco. High school, college students get half-price tickets at select seat locations with a valid student ID. That'll be September 28th. It'll be a ball game against the Kansas City Royals, so log on to Indians.com for your tickets.
All right, Will Smith, who was on the verge of getting knocked out of this game in the 5th inning. But when Michael Brantley flied to deep right field, his offense came back and put up 3 for him, and then he cruised through the 6th
They had
inning.
the leadoff man. Kanzler got a base hit, and the next thing you know, Porta hit into a double play on one pitch, and the very next pitch, it was a Chisenhall flying out and out of the inning.
Thomas Neal, I remember he had that, 12 pitch at bat?
Yes, he
inning.
did back in the 5th. That was a very good at bat after being down 0-2.
Here we go again. It's 0-2.
If you feel comfortable there, go for it.
Strap yourselves in. Low breaking ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kansas City bullpen is busy. 2-2. Francisli Bueno warming for Kansas City. We saw him last night. Neal chased one, and it's a strikeout, the 4th tonight for Will Smith. 1 away. Our game recap brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Billy Butler's RBI single in the 1st helped stake Kansas City to a 2-0 lead, and then Cord Phelps' 2-run blast, his first of the year, tied it at 2 in the top of the 5th. But in the bottom of the 5th, well, a couple of walks started the disaster, and then Kansas City scoring 3 times to take a 5-2 lead. Find out about more than 30 Toyota offers available now at buyatoyota.com. High pop foul, back out of play. Interesting. I saw a fan down there using the blanket as sort of the miss.
That's what I was looking at. And he got it, too.
I was a little nervous at first. I thought, does he have a kid wrapped up in that blanket?
No.
No, okay, it's just the blanket he's using. Phelps chased one. He's a strikeout victim and a quick flip to first, 2 down. Well, so far this year, with Rick and I each making a donation of $5 for every Indians homer, and Gathering and the Great Clips donating $50 per homer, we've raised almost $8,000 so far this year for the Gathering Place. Learn more by logging on to touchedbycancer.org. Gathering Place, a wonderful community that helps individuals and family members who have been affected by cancer. Chu takes the ball up high. 1 for 2 tonight. He has walked and singled. Our pregame conversation, we talked about Chu, and while the power numbers and productivity is down from, I think, what the Indians were hoping and anticipating through adversity, sometimes you find out a positive, and the one thing is he can lead off.
Well, I think if you would have left him in that number 3 hole this year, his RBIs would have been up, because Chu, he doesn't change his approach. You know, he hasn't walked as much. He strikes out a lot. But the one downfall has been the left-handers this year.
Yeah. But as I said to you in the open, you hope maybe that's just a
one-year thing.
1 year, yeah.
Well, again, now this league has made a conscious effort of pitching him inside. That's why he's been hit 13 times. He may have to back off the plate a little bit. He likes the ball away anyway, especially maybe against left-handers. Right-handers haven't bothered him. He's hitting 23 against them.
Yeah, and I'm not saying he's going to come back next year and wear out left-handed pitching. That's probably always going to be a bit of a soft underbelly for him, but I think he'll be better than what he's shown
this year. Can be more consistent, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that you know how that goes. So that could be totally different next year. What happened to Jack Hanahan last year? Jack Hanahan this year when it comes to lefties.
Oh yeah.
You know, you never know how that's going to go. Every year is a different year. Home, road, you don't know what the splits are going to be.
As Dribble Cabrera 0 for 3 on the night. Snap throw, close play. Chu just back ahead of the tag of Hosmer.
Well, when left-handers have that step off or snap throw to first base, you always know that before you even get there. So that means you have to get your lead early.
Cabrera takes a strike. Last night, his dribble was 2 for 4 with a double and a run scored. Tonight, he sent a couple of fly balls to center and then bounced into a double play his last time up. One on one. They're underway in Southern California, where the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim are scoreless with the White Sox. They're in the first inning. It's a big game for both of those teams.
Yes. Well, the Angels have to keep on winning if they want to try and keep pace with Texas and try and catch Oakland.
Well, with Oakland losing, I mean, they have to win. They've got to be able to cut into that deficit.
Yep. Well, and Oakland and Texas play 7 more times, because after that road trip that Oakland is on, they went to Detroit. They lost 2 out of 3. They're in New York now. They've lost the first 2, and then they head to Texas before they head back home. So that was the tough trip that we talked about when we were out in Oakland. Said they had that one tough one in September. Well, they're on it.
It's kind of a weird deal for the Angels, but they almost have to pull for Texas to win those games.
Oh, so they can catch Oakland?
Yeah, because I don't think they can catch Texas.
Right.
So they almost have to root for the Rangers to go ahead and win the division, but beat up on Oakland for us so we can get in.
That's true. But they have to do their own thing, and they have to win.
Ripped foul. And now a full count. I remember back in the 70s, I think there was a year where it came down to the final week of the season. The AFC Central Division was such a juggernaut. And I think Pittsburgh needed the Oilers to beat the Bengals for Pittsburgh to get into the playoffs. And the Oilers did. They beat the Bengals. And the players got together and they bought the entire team and staff leather briefcases. Yeah.
Oh.
Now you're not allowed to do
Collusion,
that.
I was going to say. That's not allowed.
There's a high fly ball. And the center fielder, Bourgeois, makes the catch. We've reached the 7th inning stretch with the Kansas City Royals leading at 5-2. And the stretch time brought to you by the Cleveland Clinic's free walking program, Let's Move It, Mondays at Progressive Field and the Metro Park Zoo. Visit letsmoveit.org for more information. and very cool evening here in the Midwest. Stop by and get overstuffed at Panini's Bar and Grill. Billy Butler, who has 2 hits on the night and a run batted in, will lead it off. Frank Herman, who worked a scoreless 6th inning, will stay on. Butler drives one to right field. Chu on the run. It's over his head and it will go to the wall. And Butler taking his good old time as he strolls into second base with a leadoff double. He has 3 hits in the ballgame and all 3 have gone to the opposite field.
Well, he stays on the baseball as well as anybody. And I mean, this one was driven. I mean, on the line. It was a low heater, and he sent a tracer out to right field, gets it over the head of Chu. So his second double, that's the Billy Butler we know right there, going into the gap in right center field. 29th double now. So another leadoff double for the Royals.
And Mike Moustakas 0 for 2, walked and scored his last time up.
Now the Royals with 3 doubles in the game, and Butler with 2 of them, and then also the Pena triple. That was a leadoff triple back in the 4th, but he did not come around to score.
They'll talk it over. Moustakas is a pretty potent bat. He's got 20 homers. He's driven in 71. He has 32 doubles. Up high, he missed. 2 balls, no strikes. Two-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. The 2-1 pitch. Right back to the screen. Bounced it in there. Santana kept it in front of him. And Butler just holds tight at second base. Rounded to first base where Kanzler makes the play. He'll take it to the bag. Butler goes over to third, 1 away.
Well, never too early to set your sights on Goodyear, Arizona. Spend it with the Indians in spring training. You can do it a week-long vacation, weekend. It doesn't matter. You can create your own schedule, choose packages that they will have no problems for premium seat locations, great prices. You go to Indians.com or you can call 216-420-HITS.
Francoeur pops it straight up. And Russ Kanzler makes the catch, so a very poor at bat for Jeff Francoeur. First ball swinging, and he pops one straight up on the infield with that runner at third and only 1 out.
Now Manny's going to go out and make a move, bring in the left-hander to face Hosmer again.
So we've got a timeout here in Kansas City with a runner at third and 2 down, and the Tribe on the short end of a 5-2 score. Batter. Right now it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. And this was the close play that kind of turned the tide of the game.
There was a game of inches, and Santana with the throw from Chisenhall just couldn't keep his foot on home plate. He came off trying to act like a first baseman. You can see the hand gets in there. A really close play. They went on to score a couple after that. They ended up scoring 3 in the inning. But Hosmer was the one that hit that ground ball, sent Chisenhall to his left. By the time he got to throw to home plate, it pulled Santana off.
Hosmer, a swing and a miss. And a bouncer foul. And a drive to right field. Chu on the move, dives, and he makes the catch. Hangs on to end the inning. Good jump. And then a splendid dive and grab by Chu in right field to take an RBI and a hit away from Hosmer.
reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
(5-2) Royals. As we go now to the 8th inning, Aaron Crow coming on as Will Smith went 7 innings, gave up just 2 runs on 8 hits. Crow, 69th appearance of the year, 3 up, 1 down, 3.41 ERA.
Well, Crow has done a nice job this year against left-handed hitters. 169 mark on the year. They're 13 for 77 against him. Yeah, Smith, the only the damage was the 2-run home run by Cord Phelps back in the 5th inning.
And Santana sends one right through the hole in the shift for a leadoff base hit. Second hit of the game for Santana, 3rd of the series.
Well, you know, they had the shift, the man over there, and he still beat it. Got it past the shortstop who had the only chance for it, so he hit the ball perfectly placed. It was hit hard, by the way, as well. That is hit number 9 for the Tribe tonight. 8 singles and the home run by Phelps.
Brantley shoots it out of play. And the count's 1-1. Fly ball center field. Bourgeois went back. He misplays the ball. Santana around second on his way to third. He's going to be waved around. Here comes Carlos. Escobar's throw is up the line, and Santana slides in safely. And it's a 5-3 game. So instead of 1 out and a runner at first, Brantley's at second, and the Indians are in business.
Well, Bourgeois came in there, and he gave him that one. I don't know if they're going to give him a base hit or an error.
Straight error, Rick, is what their official score is ruling.
That's fine because that ball's right there at him. Right in the glove, and you can see it hits off the top, and that goes to the wall. So Brantley gets to second base. Santana coming all the way around from first base to score. It makes it a 5-3 game and nobody out.
And Russ Kanzler, 2 for 3 on the night, will be the batter now. I agree that Bourgeois should have made that catch, but if I'm Michael Brantley, I want that for I want that to be a hit, man. He hit that as a pretty good ball.
Well, you hit it hard, you're right, but this is the big leagues, and he's right there. He was put into this game. He pinch hit for Dyson earlier, and that's a playboy in this ballpark. You've got to catch it. You give an extra out. See if the Indians can take advantage of it now. Get the extra out in the inning. Still nobody out here in the 8th.
Kanzler, a couple of hits tonight. Third one would really make it interesting. And he lines it to right field. Francoeur coming on, makes a sliding catch. And Brantley can't get to third. He had to hold up.
I'll tell you, that's a good play. You know, not only did he make a great play, but he come in sliding where he did not allow Michael to tag up, and that was a tough play for for Brantley at second base to try and tag up. Originally, you think it's going to be a base hit. That ball's sinking. But watch, you want to break, but Michael went back. That's a good job of base running. That's even a better job by Frank Core to make that play and get up and get it in a hurry, and you're not going to run on his arm. You know, he has the reputation, always up there in the league with assists. Kanzler upset. He hit a ball right on the nose, thought he did his job, and comes up empty because of a fine defensive play.
Now Matt Laporta 1 for 3 tonight. Banged into a double play his last time up. Fouls that one straight back. Pitch up, fastball. But he couldn't square it. And that curveball missed inside. On one pitch. Caught the outside corner. And Laporta falls behind in the count now 1-2.
I don't think he liked that call, to be honest with you. Took a little stroll around the plate. Don't know if it caught the corner.
Throws 1-2 pitch. And he strikes him out. Ball in the dirt. Pena flips to first, 2 down. And that will bring up Lonnie Chisenhall, who is 0 for 3 on the night. And before he steps in, back to the Hyundai Studios for an in-game update with Al. All right, thanks, Al.
Out of the gates early tonight.
That certainly will make the Tigers fans happy. They got a chance to close to within a half game by the end of the night. Detroit looking at a split doubleheader tomorrow with Minnesota. Chisenhall swing and a miss, 1-1. Foul back. Yeah, the White Sox have that series with the Angels in Anaheim, and then after tomorrow they turn around and come right back to Chicago to host the Indians Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Brantley at second base, tying run at the plate. The 1-2 pitch, and it's up high. And a full count now. Now time called as Pena goes out to talk with Crow. Hits are even at 9 apiece. Royals have stranded 8, the Indians 6 so far. 3-2 pitch, and he missed ball 4. So 2 on, 2 out, and Thomas Neal coming up.
No,
or is he?
No, he's going to get pinch hit for. We've got, is that Kochman coming out?
Vinny Rottino or Casey Kochman?
I think
Can't
Kotzman,
tell.
the left-hander. But I gave you the numbers. This guy is awfully tough on left-handers, but he just walked Chisenhall there. So Kotzman coming in.
Kochman is 2 for 7 as a pinch hitter. We have seen him on a couple of occasions, at least that I can remember specifically, that as a pinch hitter, he'll come up here and he'll look for a first pitch fastball, and if he gets it, he's going to swing.
Well, that's what most people do when you go to pinch hit. You look for the fastball. You're coming off the bench. There you go.
Pops it up, though. And Hosmer in foul ground makes the catch. Middle of the 8th, Indians get a run closer. They're down 5-3. And we'll tell you about the changes now for the Tribe. Genmar Gomez is coming out of the bullpen. He will pitch here in this 8th inning. 19th appearance of the year. Most of his appearances, obviously, as a starter before being moved to the bullpen. And Vinny Rottino is now in the ballgame in left field. And for Kansas City, it will be Brian Pena, Irving Falou, and Jason Bourgeois. Here's the line by Gomez, and the pitch to Pena over the outside corner for a strike. Pena had a triple, the first of his career, back in the 4th inning.
Yes, it was. And he had to earn it, too, didn't he? It was bang, bang at third base. He didn't come in to score, though.
No, they were able to do a nice job. In fact, as poorly as Ubaldo Jimenez pitched tonight, that was one of the highlights for him. He did a nice job of getting Falou and then Dyson to really chase his pitches in that situation. That's a good pitch, called a ball. It's like Kelvin Herrera will get the opportunity to close tonight. Now the 2-2 to Pena. pops it out of play. Right back up the middle. Cabrera cuts it off. From the outfield grass, he throws, and Kanzler does a nice job to scoop it out of the dirt for out number 1. Good play on both ends here.
Well, that ball, it was Cabrera able just to get it at the end of the glove. Makes a good throw for being on the run, accurate. And you see Kanzler right there. Good play for out number 1.
Irving Falou, couple of hits, an RBI tonight. Looks at a ball down low. Hits it on the ground to short. Cabrera fires it over. That's out number 2. In-game box score brought to you by your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers, who invite you to come see the all-new 2012 Sonata. Visit NorthernOhioHyundaiDealers.com today. Billy Butler has had a big night. 3 hits, a couple of doubles, an RBI. Really hasn't been involved in the scoring, although he did drive in a run in the first inning that made it 2-0. But it's been kind of a weird game as far as the scoring is concerned for Kansas City. They got the 2 RBIs in the first inning on a double by Escobar and then the single by Butler. But their 3 runs in the 5th inning were the result of a fielder's choice and a bad throw. And
all said, the 3 walks that the staff has, or I should say Jimenez had tonight, came around to score. That was the big difference. That was after the Indians came back to tie it up in the 5th. They go right back and they respond with 3, and that's the difference in the game.
We'll go to the 9th. Last chance for the Tribe coming up, down 5-3. Five-3 Kansas City, 9th inning. And the Royals will go to their second closer in as many nights. Last night it was Greg Holland who converted his 15th save in 16 tries. Tonight it's Kelvin Herrera looking for his second in his third opportunity.
Well, and Herrera has a very good arm. He's 22 years old. And since the 5th of July, has a 1.46 ERA. So he's getting a chance to close this game out tonight, after Holland did it last night. This guy gets it up there right around the century mark, the one Hondo. He's 96 to 100, depending on the night. A little cool tonight, so that first pitch was only 97.
Here's the set now in the 0-1. Way outside, ball on the strike. Cord Phelps, his 2-run blast in the 5th tied things up, but it was all too brief. As in the next half inning, Kansas City scored 3 to take over the game, and they haven't trailed in the ball game. But since they opened up that 3-run cushion, they were able to kind of cruise until the Indians got on the board again in the 8th.
Yeah, well, Bourgeois gave him that run in the 8th,
yeah,
on a fly ball.
High pop to left. Gordon makes the catch. One away. Here's our Ford highlight reel to you tonight, brought to you by your Northeast Ohio Ford dealers. And Cord Phelps with his defense and offense cashing in here tonight, playing with Jason Kipnis, getting a night off and taking advantage of his opportunity.
Well, he's a +3 tonight because he saved a run and drove in 2.
A little bit outside.
There's a change up at about 86. You know, 86, that's some guy's fastball. This guy's changeup is there.
Chu takes that 98-mile-an-hour fastball in the inside corner.
Well, you can see as a hitter, you can't sit on both. You have to get geared up for the fastball because he's getting it up there 97, 98. And you just hoped that he misses with that changeup. Emergency swing right there.
Yeah.
Caught in between, and that's what could happen when you have that separation like Herrera does. This kid's 22 years old. He was able to just get a piece. It didn't stick into the glove of Pena, so he lives for another pitch.
Ran it outside and missed. And Chu lines it to right field. That's a base hit. Frank Cord trying to cut it off. Does. Chu puts the hammer down. He's going for 2. The throw's on the money, and they got him. You don't run on Jeff Francoeur, just like you don't run on Shin-Soo Choo. But Chu trying to get himself into scoring position, but down 2. That's not really the objective in this situation. And Frank Hoare guns him out.
The scoreboard dictates what you should do. Now, this is a guy with a reputation. He has more assists than any outfielder since 2005. Why you run on him is beyond me. I mean, you can't try and stretch it. You got the tying run coming to the plate with Cabrera, who has homered off Herrera last year. So there you go, 19 assists right there. That's why you don't run on him. Speaks for itself.
Stick around after the game for the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care post-game show. Herrera with the pitch. Cabrera takes. Two-one delivery. Swung out and missed. The count evens up. Fans up on their feet, and the 2-2 is up high, better than 24,000 here tonight on a Saturday evening. Top temperature 66 degrees. It's dropped down into the 50s now. Not a cloud in the sky. Right now the Indians need a base runner to get the tying run to the plate. And the payoff pitch. Outside, ball four, very close. And Cabrera will get Carlos Santana to the plate as the tying run.
You're going to see a ball just outside, and it was. No question about it. Cabrera lays off. Again, you still got to shake your head with Chu trying to stretch it. But now that tying run comes to the plate again. The likes of Carlos Santana. Ed Yost looking on. Santana can hit the fastball. He's going to get one from this kid.
Down in the dirt.
But not on the first pitch. He started him off with a changeup.
Time call to Santana, backs away. Herrera fires, and Santana fouls it back. Herrera's 1-1 pitch is a called strike, and now Santana and the Indians are one strike away from dropping their 7th straight game to Kansas City. And the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Herrera strikes him out. And the Kansas City Royals hang on to win it by a final score of 5-3. As the Indians have lost for the 90th time this year. They are 62-90 after this 5-3 defeat to Kansas City. And the Royals have won 7 straight against the Tribe.
Time now for tonight's key play of the game, brought to you by KeyBank.
Well, you're going to go back to that 5th inning on a ground ball, bases loaded, nobody out. Here comes a throw to the plate. Chisenhall pulls the foot off the plate. Santana just missed by an inch. I mean, we looked at it, we slowed it down, we zoomed in on it, and his foot was off the plate by an inch. He was called safe. They ended up scoring 3 in that inning, and that was the difference in the ball game right there, a game of inches.
Get to a KeyBank branch now and rake in big savings on a car loan or home equity loan during KeyBank's Rake It In loan event. So Kansas City topples the Tribe once again. We're back with some final thoughts from Kauffman Stadium right after this.